Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to a live hangout with me. It should be fun. I did one on Facebook last week. I think it was Tuesday or something. Monday. I don't remember. But I did one last week and a lot of people enjoyed it. And so a lot of people suggested that I should maybe try and do, Hi Bulbasaur, how you doing? And so a lot of people suggested that I should Namaste, namaste, DB Patel. How are you? So, yeah, I kind of thought I should try and do one of these every week because it's good, man. Last week, hi Abhinag, how are you? Last week I did one and a lot of people watched it, a lot of people liked it. And I tried to take as many questions as I could last week on Facebook. And, you guys are a very supportive community. Hi, Sanjay, how are you? And so I wanted to just make sure that I interact with you on a regular basis as well. So I make videos, I do my podcasts and stuff like that. Hi, Anshu Sharma, namaste. And I do my podcasts and stuff. And so I want to make sure that you guys support and you guys come and watch my videos and you guys watch my podcasts and stuff like that. So that I interact with you, that I take your questions. If you have any questions today for me, I'm available for an hour and a half. However many questions you have, just throw it my way. Whatever you need to say, just let me know, and we will. I'll take your questions. Hi Shubham Yadav, thank you. I really appreciate that you like the show. Ranjan Paul, hello. Reconquista, hello. Pramod, how are you? Good to see you as well. And I appreciate all you guys' comments. So I just recently came back from a vacation. I took a small vacation for a couple of days. So I was out, so I didn't get to like be too active on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. So, but I just got back last night, so I'm ready to get back into it. The Tanvi Sate case, is it a libtard victory? It feels like it a little bit, doesn't it? Because it was a case where Sushma Swaraj went out of her way to transfer that guy, Pandey, I think, whatever his name was, Mishra or Pandey, one of those things. Because the name on that lady's, I think she has different names, right? One of her names is like the Muslim name, one of her names is like the Hindu name. And so there was a discrepancy in the names that were present when she was applying for a passport. So obviously, any passport officer would be like, wait, you have this name here, you have another name here. So I can't really give you a passport right off the bat when you have two different names. Because if I went to a passport office and I gave them two different names, obviously I'm not going to get a passport. But what it looks like it is that she just cried foul and she just said that, well, this is racism, this is a conspiracy, and this is all his horrible stuff. And so Sushma Swaraj apparently caught wind of it, and I don't think she really looked into this matter too much. And then she offered she gave her passport and stuff like that. And when I think people from the right wing, some influential people, I think one of them was Shefali Vaidya, right? She said something to Sushma Swaraj, and then she ended up blocking Shefali Vaidya ji. And yeah, I don't. It's just I think this is something that Modi ji or somebody higher up in the administration, preferably Modi ji, should have a word with Sushma Swaraj ji about. He should just say to her that, look, there are people that support you. In any case, in social media and in the mainstream media, you don't have a lot of support. So when you get support, don't just throw it under the bus without really looking at it. So I think I hope Sushma Swaraj ji learns from this experience and realizes that there are people that support her out there, and that not everybody who criticizes her is a troll. Not everybody who criticizes her actions is a troll. So I think that's something that they need to keep an eye on as well. Okay, let's see. Sanjay Datta, thoughts on the World Cup? Dude, it's been a crazy World Cup because a lot of the big boys are out. You have Portugal gone, you have Germany gone, you have Argentina gone. I'm probably missing someone, but a lot of the big boys are gone. And I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but I have noticed that if you look at the side of the bracket that England is in, England has had a relatively easy path all the way to the final, because they were up against, I think, Tunisia and one more country. Then they had to play Colombia. Then now they have to play either Sweden or Croatia or something like that. So they have a relatively easy path to the final. Whereas the other countries like France have to play Argentina, then they have to play either Brazil or Belgium. So the other teams have a much harder path to the final than England. It's very lucky that it turned out that way, but it's definitely turned out that way. Yeah, I mean it's a weird one, Ashwin. Like I just feel like England's got a relatively really easy passage to the final. So just an opinion. Hi Sham, loving your videos content. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Wrong Reconquista, has fake Reuters survey affected India's global image? I don't think the survey really affected it that much. I think it's just the constant, bombardment and the constant pushing of the narrative from the Indian leftists, from the Indian mainstream media. That's what truly ruins the image. Because the Katua one, like I was talking about in there, is a perfect example. You have something that happens, and then people don't wait for information to even come out, and then they just jump on social media and on the roads, and they just start shouting how horrible India is and how horrible Indian society is. That's what really fuels the perception, and that's why these perceptions show up in the Reuters report. I don't know if the Reuters report honestly is going to hurt that much, but it's just this constant pushing of the narrative. That's what really hurts people. That's what really hurts people. Alekia, hello, nice to see you. Up India, Sham Sharma, and an Open Letter must collab with each other. I have looked at a couple of videos from Open Letter, and it'll be interesting to do something with him maybe down the line. Op India and I already do one Ankit Tiwari. We'd make I do an episode with them. It's called The Recap. I do a video series with them as well. It's just that it's been really busy with work and with the show that I'm trying to do, that I haven't had time to make any videos for Op India yet, but I'm looking to get back onto that and start doing that as well. Abhinag is saying, why conservative Americans like Stephen Crowder, Gavin McInnes, and some others hate Hindus and call religion silly when we Hindus do support him in his fight against the SHW? Well, that's the thing. We Hindus think, a lot of us think that they're on our side, that just because they're against SJWs and we are against SJWs, that we're on the same time and we agree with everything, but that's not true. Conservative commentators like Stephen Crowder particularly, Gavin McInnes particularly, you got the name absolutely right. These two people particularly, they believe that everything that comes out of West is better than everywhere else. They think that Christianity is better than everything else. They are supremacists in their own way. They are supremacists when it comes to Christianity. They're Christian supremacists. They're supremacists when it comes to their civilization, their Western civilization, supremacists, so to say. So they think that anybody who's not from the West is inferior to them. And they think that anybody who's not Christian is inferior to them. So that, unless that mentality goes away, there isn't really going to be that partnership with these people, with these anti-SJW people in the West that we are looking for. First, they need to get rid of that mentality that we're better than everybody else and nobody else is good enough. So they're going to be fighting that fight alone. They're not going to get much support from Hindus if that kind of attitude carries on. Ranjan Paul, hello, how are you? Question 1, when is another video on Chacha Jan coming? Because his bias is not getting busted by anyone. I'll be making more on him as well. I try to not, one of the things, and this is a good question as well, Ranjan, because one of the things that I try to do through this channel is I want to do 70-30 of something. So 30% I want to do, which is rebuttals and, fight, kind of responding to people and doing the defensive stuff. So responding to Chacha Jan, making videos on Chacha Jan, making videos on Dhruv Rathi, and responding to these people. These things are important to do, because they're spreading a lot of misinformation, they're spreading a lot of falsehoods and pushing a very wrong kind of narrative. So that's something that needs to be done. So I want to do that, but I don't want to just do that, because what we've been doing so far is we have just been fighting the narrative. We are just being on the defensive. So when somebody says, we defend. Somebody, Chacha Jan says something, we defend. Dhruv Rathi says something, we defend. So we've been on the defensive. So that I still want to do that, but I want to do it a little less. What I want to do is Hindus and people, sort of on the right wing, they need to create their own narrative. We need to push and create our own narrative, and create a grand narrative for India, create a grand narrative for Hindus. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to talk about our historical heroes. I want to talk about our great teachers like Shankaracharya. I want to talk about great mathematicians of India, great scientists of India. Create that narrative, because a lot of people say, well, what the hell has India given to the world? So I want to tell people that, these are the things that India has given to the world. So I want to create that pride in Indians towards their culture, that pride in Indians towards their civilizations. And for people who are not from India as well, there are some people who are not from India that watch my show. And for people who are not from India as well, I want to see them, and I want to see them looking at my videos and seeing, wow, these are the things that India has produced. India has produced so many great things. Indian culture has produced so many great things. Indian philosophy has produced so many great things. So that's a little bit of what I want to do as well. I want to create our own narrative for Hindus. So let me know what you think of that idea. Do you think that we need to just keep defending, or do you guys think that there is an importance, or there is a need to create our own narrative, to push our own, create our own grand narrative, as Rajiv Malhotra ji says? So let me know in the live chat here as well, and in the comment section below as well, what you guys think about that, because I'd love to hear your opinions on that stuff. Shashank Ganesh, Gavin McInnes is married to an Indian Hindu. I don't know if she's married to an Indian Hindu. I was thinking that he was married to a Native American. He calls her Indian because people in America and Canada, they call Native Americans Indians. But as far as I know, that he's married to a Native American. That's what I think. I might be wrong, but let's see. Okay, more questions. Let's take one from Shashank Shahi. Mr. Shashank Shahi, when will you be back in India? I was thinking of making a trip sometime this year. If it doesn't happen, then sometime early next year, for sure. Because I came last time in December, so it was a long time ago, and I might not be able to come back because of work this year. But if I do, it'll most likely be early next year. So I will be in Delhi and in Patna. So if anybody hears from Delhi or Patna, let me know. When I'll post it on social media when I'm coming around. Let me know if you guys are from there, and we can meet up, man. I'd love to meet some of the people that watch the show. That'll be fantastic. Finn AS, the only thing that still matters in the world is that chicken nuggets are always there for you when you need them. You can find a 6-pack chicken nuggets anywhere in the world, mostly. Dude, that's great advice. Thank you for sharing that advice. That is fantastic advice. Just remember that chicken nuggets are always there for you. And if you're a vegetarian, then whatever you like in vegetarian, man, it's always there for you. That's great advice, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that advice. Hey, yo, Sham brother, how are you? NJ69er, I'm good, man. I hope you're good as well. Thank you for watching the thing today. My great grandma possibly invented the chicken nugget. Really? Dude, that's awesome. Tell her thank you from all of us. Ashish Thaplial, greetings, Mr. Sham. Will you please try to invite Mr. Shefali Vedya on the show for sessions with Sham? That's a great idea. I actually am looking to invite a few more people. I'm looking to invite Ashish Dhar from Pragyata. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. I'm looking to invite him. I am looking to invite Anurag Saxena. Anurag Saxena is the founder of the India Pride Project, which aims to bring back stolen heritage from outside back to India. Also looking to invite Jai Sai Deepak, who is a lawyer who is very knowledgeable on the temples and government control of temples issue, and also very knowledgeable on the Ram Janmabhoomi issue. So I really want to talk to him. So I'll be inviting him as well. And I will be reaching out to Mr. Shefali Vaidya this week as well. So thank you very much for that suggestion, Ashish. Akshit, sorry if I got your name wrong first time. Akshit. I'll be looking to reach out to her. So thank you for that suggestion. Sonu Singh. Most of Hindus don't know medieval history. That's true, man. Like most of us tend to think that medieval history was just this beautiful time and everybody got together and it was just lovely flowers and rainbows and everybody was happy because that's what we're taught in history. That's what I remember when I was in school, that's what I used to be taught, the bhakti movement, and everybody was happy and in love with each other. But unfortunately, our history turns out to be different from what it is taught. So I think everybody should read. And that is one of the reasons why I do the Defenders of India series, is because we get to know all the people, all the great Hindu kings and warriors that spent their whole lives defending our civilization from getting completely wiped out. So I agree. We should really read more. Shreya saying, really, we're visiting Chicago in mid of August. Would like to meet you. Sure, man. I'd love to meet you if I'm around as well. Let me know. You follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, and just send me a little message. See if we can figure something out. Namaste, Naresh Joshi ji. Namaste, Shri Shambhav ji. Namaste, Naresh ji. You have this great Defenders of India series and it appears very well researched. Can this info be used to write papers? Can it make its way to film and TV? Maybe Vivek Agnihotri. Dude, I would love that. I would honestly love, Naresh ji, if somebody makes a movie on that. Not on my series, but what I'm saying is makes a movie on those people. Because these are people that truly need to be known by every single person in India. These are people that need to be known and seen by everyone. So I would really, really love if somebody makes a video or makes a movie, or Bollywood, or any regional movie industry as well, because they now have as much money as Bollywood has. So any regional movie industry as well, make videos on these people, on Maharana Pratap, or Krishna Dev Raya, on Bappa Rawal, on Guru Gobind Singh. All of these people deserve movies. We tend to make movies on freaking Sanjay Dutt, on these Dawood Ibrahims, on these freaking underworld people and criminals, but we can't make movies on people that are so important to the preservation of Indian culture. Now, I know there are some regional movies that have been made on some of these people. So if anybody has seen those movies and if they can suggest it, please let me know in the chat here or in the comment section down there. And I would love to check those movies out as well and recommend those movies as well. Okay. Comet Fire. Comet Fire? Is that the name? Comet Fire. Hello, what do you think of Hinduism and capitalism? Your views, debate on this would be nice. Hinduism and capitalism, I don't think they are necessarily at odds with each other. I think Hinduism and capitalism can work really well. This is why Hindus make such great capitalists, because we believe that even though we should not be too attached, one of the core concepts of Hindu philosophy is that we should not be as attached to material pleasures as we are. We shouldn't be obsessed with it, but living a good material life is part of our culture as well. It is a good thing if you make a good life for yourself. It is a good thing if you work hard and provide for yourself and your family. So I don't think there are any odds between Hinduism and capitalism at all, in my opinion. Again, I don't pretend to know everything, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somewhere in the scriptures it says that it's wrong. If it's wrong, I don't agree with it. But as far as I am aware, I don't think there are any differences there. Babaji ki jai ho. Namaste, Babaji. Sham, when do you think will the Indian population stop increasing, or will it never stop increasing and ultimately make Hindus minority in India? Look, that's one of the big problems, right? That's one of the reasons why people want to bring in uniform civil code. I was reading an article that I will find. I think it was on Mind Makers. Mind Makers is a platform that is run by Sunanda Vashisht ji, and that is run by Adit Kapadia ji. Adit Kapadia I had on sessions. It was one of the first episodes of the sessions that I did. I think it was there that I read that the total like population growth and the fertility rate is coming very, very close to the replacement rate. That means it is not growing as quickly as it used to be. So the population growth is slowing down in India, and I think by like 2040 or something, they're saying that it'll reach replacement rate, which is like 2.1 on 2.4, something like that. If somebody knows, please let me know what the replacement rate is, and that it's getting there, and then slowly it'll even out. So that's an encouraging sign, and I think that applies. What it said that it applies towards Muslims as well. Right now, of course, it's a serious issue, because I think truly that if the Muslims stop trying to outpopulate the Hindus, that will solve at least 60 to 70% of the problems that exist between Hindus and Muslims today. If they just stop trying to outpopulate Hindus, because this is the only country Hindus have, man. India is the only country Hindus have. They have no other country. So I think if our Muslim brothers and sisters can understand that and respect that, I think a lot of our problems can be solved. And again, a uniform civil code is always a bloody good idea. Pawan Bhutia, you're doing a good job. Thank you, Pawan, and thank you for coming and watching the show, man. I really appreciate it. Shivam Kaushik make videos and left fake news. I try to do that. I just did a video on the Reuters poll as well, so I hope you got a chance to watch it. If you didn't, it's probably available in the description down below, so make sure to go check it out as well, Shivam. Rahul Ghosh, don't you think that we need a movie industry? Bollywood doesn't make movies on Hinduism. How far right-wing proceed in this regard? Dude, I say that if you are a big business, if you are a rich businessman, invest in these movies. Like if you're an Ambani, if you have an interest in Hinduism, invest in those movies, because people will watch it. You look at the success of Bahubali. See how successful Bahubali was. People are looking to watch these movies. People want to watch these movies. People want to feel more connected with their culture and with their history. So if you're a big business, I think, if you have an interest in Hinduism, I think promote it. And I think all Hindus as well, if we are doing well, I think some of these movies are already being made, like Bahubali, like I said. And I think if there are big businesses out there that have interest in these matters, they should invest in these movies. And we should ask them to invest in these movies if we notice this. Ranjan Paul, sir, you're correct in creating your own narrative, but it'll be a long-term thing. But I fear that in this case, we might lose a hardworking leader. Well, I know. And again, like I said, that 30% of making videos, debunking fake news and debunking propaganda, that I will continue to do. Because I do think Modi is a good leader. I do think Modi is a leader that deserves a second term. So I will continue to do that. But I think for us, longer term, for Hindus, we need to create that grand narrative. That's the bigger thing, because that's what's going to lead to Hindu unity. That's what's going to lead to the removal of these, oh, you're from Bihar, you're from Andhra, so we don't like each other. That's what's going to lead to the removal of that casteism, that regionalism, that languageism. That if we need to get rid of that, we need to create our own grand narrative. Should India leave its trade with Iran for the US? No, because I don't think the US is as earnest right now about its friendship with the US, with India, as we think that they are. I mean, it's always a good thing to develop good relationships with the United States, but at the moment we have a very important project in Iran, which is the Chabahar port. So we need to make sure that goes off without a hitch. And the US needs to understand that we have strategic work that is happening in Iran right now. So let us do that work, and let us finish up with that, and then we can move forward. I think the US has for a long time maintained a friendship with Pakistan, at the same time trying to maintain a friendship with India. So I think we can, at least for the short term, at least till the Chabahar project is up and running, we need to stay the course when it comes to Iran right now. Okay, let's take some more questions. Ashwin Subramanya, Sham, will you be making video on Trump's border stance? Should I? What do you think? Maybe I will. Ashwin, good suggestion. Maybe I will. Maybe I will in the next week or so. Let's see. Where did I get? Where did I get? Ankit Tiwari. Once Einstein said Indians are stupid, does it make sense today? Because in the past we get such great innovations. Did he ever say that? I don't think he said that. I really don't think Einstein ever said Indians are stupid. I've never heard that before. If you can show me where he said that, I would look at it, but I have never heard him say that ever. In fact, Einstein was one of the people who has been very deeply influenced by the Vedantas. He's something that who has been very influenced by Bhagavad Gita. He has said that himself. So that it's strange that if he says that he's influenced by Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita, but he says Indians are stupid. I've never heard of that. Pop Samskriti. Hello, how are you? Gupta Empire is completely underrepresented in today's history books. The finest scholars in this matter I've seen on this are certain freelance historians posting online like Kapil Rutre. You're right. Absolutely right. Ancient India, medieval Hindus, ancient Hindus, they barely get a mention. That's why a lot of the kids that grow up going through our education system, going through college in India, they don't know anything about our history. That's one of the big reasons, and I agree. I completely agree. And that's again something that I'm trying to do through the Defenders of India series, teach people about these people. Because the last Defenders of India series video that I posted was about Lachit Borphukan, the Ahom general. And a lot of people commented on my video, and a lot of people commented on Facebook and Twitter telling me that they had no idea who he was. And so it's so important that to our narrative, it's so important to our pride that we learn about these people, that we learn about the great things that our civilization has given the world. So I completely agree that we need to learn more about that. Rant Hub. Sir, would you describe people here in India calling the entire West how would you describe people here in India calling the entire West our enemy? I don't know if the entire West is our enemy necessarily. I think that a large percentage of the West is misinformed about India. Ever since I've come to the US, I've noticed that whenever I talk about India, whenever I talk about Hindus to my friends and to people that I've gotten to know here, I see that they just don't know. Or if they know, they've been taught some other kinds of nonsense. So they have literally no idea what they're talking about when it comes to India. They've been very badly informed. So one of the things that needs to happen, and one of the reasons why it's so important to create that grand narrative for ourselves, is because we need to know, or we need to educate the West on what India truly is. We need to educate the West and educate them and take them away from this leftist perception and this evangelist perception and give them the right perception, which is why this grand narrative is so important. So I would call a lot of them misinformed, and I would call the rest of them biased. And for people that think in India that most of the people are the West is our enemy, I would call them slightly misjudging the situation. That's what I would call it. Okay, Harshit, Harshit Pant, hello. How are you? Why do you think the Islamists and the lefts are in alliance all over the world? Well, because the Islamists, let's take India for example. The Islamists hate India. The left hates India. The left hates India because it just wants to be anti-establishment wherever it is, right? Islamists hates India because they can't handle the fact that Hindus have been able to survive and maintain their culture for this whole time. So, and that is the same case everywhere else as well. Islamists hate the fact that in Europe, Europeans have their own culture and the Islam doesn't have a stranglehold. The left hates Europe because they're anti-establishment over there. They think that European society is the worst, and then that needs to fall. So, because they both hate India, they both hate Europe, they are in alliance right now. And after they have destroyed India and after they have destroyed Europe, they're going to start killing each other. That's how the left has always worked. That's how the Islamists have always worked. So that hopefully answers your question there. Okay, let's say, sir, please, for once say Chacha Jan. I love it. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. You know, so there you go, Chacha Jan. I hope you enjoyed that. Abhishek Verma, India voted against US and Israel. What do you think about that? So I'm guessing you're talking about that resolution that was passed against Israel, and India chose to abstain. That's the latest one that I remember. That India chose to abstain. And a lot of people were upset about it. I was upset about it as well because I think in the international stage, it's time that we show Israel that we are its allies. And so um, I think that there are, again, some ground realities that we need to look at. Because again, like I said, we have some work that we still need to do with the Middle Eastern countries. With Iran, we have the Chabahar port still going. So we still need to make sure that we stay the course there. And Israel knows, I'm pretty sure Israel knows that we support it. Israel knows that if push comes to shove, we will go and help it. So I think it knows there. And Israel doesn't take anything in the UN seriously anymore. Neither should we, because the UN is just a very biased body against Israel and against India. We've seen with the Reuters poll. We've seen with the UNHRC report that came out around Kashmir. So I don't think anybody should take very seriously what the UN does, at least when it comes to India and Israel. So yeah, I think we need to stay the course when it comes to our work with the Middle Eastern countries right now, because we're at a very crucial stage in those places. Okay. What are the questions? Man, lots of questions today. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sending all the questions. What do you think about the walk away movement? Krishna Rao. This is a question from Krishna Rao. So Krishna, thank you again. You always participate in the live chats whenever we do the sessions, and you always participate in the. So I really appreciate you. So what do you think about the walk away movement? It's an interesting one because for a long time the Democratic Party has felt that it owns certain minorities and it owns certain kind of people, that if you're a certain kind of person, then you have to vote Democrat. And I don't think that necessarily applies to all people, and it's a stupid assumption to make. And you know unfortunately, one of the things that happened with Obama was that even though I like certain things about Obama, the problem with Obama was that he swung the pendulum just way too liberal. There's a pendulum, and he swung the pendulum with just way too liberal. And so now uh, the backlash to it is that the pendulum is swinging way too much the other way. So I think the walkaway movement is in a large way a backlash to like the super SJW liberal policies of Obama, and the encouragement that he gave to those things. So I think it's an interesting movement. It'll be interesting to see how far it goes. My only issue with it is that the pendulum again doesn't swing too far to the right, because whenever that's happened, that's not a good thing either. So I think we need to be somewhere in the middle, because that's a good place to be, because balance is a good place to be. Extremes of anything is not too good. So that's what I think about it so far. We'll see where it goes. Um, Ranjan Paul, it's another good question, man. What is the best way that we can contribute in this course of your idea in consolidating Hindus? My biggest uh, advice is the same advice that I try to give myself. Educate yourselves. Teach yourselves as much as you can. Teach yourselves about Hindu philosophy. Teach yourselves about Hindu history. Read about Hindu philosophy and Hindu history as much as you can. Once you start reading those things, you will realize that this whole caste nonsense, that my caste is this and that makes me better than that guy and this guy, and because I am born in this state, I am better than this guy, this state, all that stuff is going to go away. Once you start truly reading Hindu philosophy, once you start truly um, you know educating yourselves on history and philosophy of India, I think that'll be a great thing. And when you read about it, post about it, talk to your friends about it, talk to your family about it, educate as many people as you can, educate yourselves and educate others. That's what my advice would be in terms of consolidating Hindus. That's what I would say. And number two, meditate. That's what I would say to everyone. I've been meditating for about a couple of months now, and it's still hard, but it's has such immense benefits. I've had such immense benefits from meditation that I can't even say. So yeah, I would say educate yourselves and educate others and meditate. Those are my two advice in that area. Ankit Tiwari, Einstein seemed to have believed we're biologically inferior and were hampered by the subcontinent's climate that prevented them from thinking backward or forward by more than a quarter of an hour. Well, then, I don't know if that's true. If that's true, if that's on Wikipedia, I don't know if that's true or something. But if it is, that's a stupid assumption. That's a stupid thing to say. And so that goes to tell you that's a great example that smart people can say stupid things. So if that's true, that's essentially what it says. Mr. Shashank Shahi, the email address is in the description below, so you can check it out over there. Let's see. Anshul Pundhir, please join Quora, and right there you could get more YouTube subscribers there. True, I'm on Reddit actually. I post and I often do discussions on Reddit. So if any of you are on Reddit, come following me on Reddit. I will post my Reddit profile in the description as well. I don't think I posted it yet, but I will post it on here as well. So you guys can come follow me on Reddit, and I will go check out Quora. I've never really been to Quora, so I don't really know how it works, but I'll go check out Quora. So thanks for that suggestion, Anshul. Harshit Pant. Hi Sham, how do you practice Hinduism in Chicago area? Well, I'm not a ritual-based Hindu. I like rituals and I do them, but I'm not a ritual-based Hindu, so I don't need to necessarily go to a temple to practice Hinduism. Even though there are temples around the Chicago area, but I don't necessarily go to temples to practice or to be a Hindu. For me, my Hinduism comes from the study of the philosophy of Hinduism. My Hinduism comes from the study and exploration of the Vedanta, the exploration of the Vedas, the exploration of yoga. I do meditation. So I do what is called Raj Yoga, what is one of the most integral concepts in Hinduism. Is that is the way through which I believe that I practice my Hinduism through Raj Yoga, through education, and through meditation. That's how I practice my Hinduism. If that makes sense. Okay, more questions. Yoga and meditation is the future, Krishna Rao. You are absolutely bloody right, and it's an important point to make. Yoga and meditation is the future, and that is why we Hindus, we need to educate ourselves about yoga, about meditation, because it is not only just a cultural opportunity, it is also a massive economic opportunity. If Indians can position themselves as being the best sources of learning yoga and learning meditation, then we are sitting at the top of a multi-billion-dollar industry that can create so many jobs in India. We're always talking about creating jobs in India. If Indians can learn meditation, if Indians can learn and become experts in meditation and yoga, then we can become the masters of teaching the whole world yoga and meditation. And trust me, the whole world wants to know, wants to learn. So that's another reason why it's important to study. Right, more questions. Satyendra, sir, do you think India is heading towards a civil war? I don't think so. I might be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. I don't think so. I don't think that India is heading towards a civil war, because I think that we can solve our issues together. I think that if there is a reformation among the Muslim community and among the Hindu community as well, in terms of caste, and that if Muslims don't try to outpopulate Hindus, and if Christians don't try to outpopulate Hindus, and if Hindus can maintain their populations, then I think that most of these problems can be avoided that we have today. So I don't necessarily think we're heading towards a civil war. I think we can still solve it together as Indians. That's what I'd like to think. I like to be on the optimistic side of things, but again, that might be wrong. But if you want my opinion, that's what I think. Um, Harminder Singh Yadav, any Hindu organizations in Boston who are doing good work, I would like someone to join them. I don't know if there are any Hindu organizations. Check to see if there is uh, the Hindu American Federation or something, the Hindu American Foundation. They check to see if they have a chapter in Boston, because they're very active on the East Coast. They have a chapter in Connecticut. I'm pretty sure they have a chapter in DC. So they may have a chapter in Boston. So maybe check the Hindu American Foundation. I think that's what they're called. Okay. Jeff Masterson, leave Puranas, your base, your everything are Vedas. Puranas can be adulterated, but Vedas are as pure as they were a million years ago. Read books written by Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, Light of Truth. Yeah, again, I agree with that. I would say, don't leave anything out. I would say read everything. Everything that you can read about Hindu civilization, about Hindu philosophy, about Hindu culture, read it. Because the more you read, the more you learn. That's what I say. So read all that you can. I've just finished reading the Vedantas. I've been reading some Swami Vivekanand recently. Right now, I'm reading the Vivek Agnihotri's Urban Naxals book. So I'll be finishing that soon. Once I finish that, I'll do a big book review on Urban Naxals as well. So look out for that. But after I'm done with that, I'm going to read some quantum theory and see how it relates to Hindu philosophy. I know. Okay, lots of comments. I hope I didn't go too far. Let's see. Hinduism does sound like New Agey, Deepak Chopra-esque if you start talking about it. Well, it does sound like it, but it only sounds like it if you talk like Deepak Chopra. If you're saying that, oh, these are things that just cannot be experienced, you just have to feel it and touch it and stuff like that. The way Deepak Chopra talks about it does make it sound a little New Agey, and he adds some spice, his own spice to it. But I think if you study it from the Vedas and the Vedantas and just break it down bare bones, I think it's a very interesting philosophy. I think it's a very interesting concept, particularly the connections between dark matter and dark energy, and what Hindus call the supreme consciousness that pervades the entire universe. When you look at dark matter, dark energy, it pervades the entire universe. And that is kind of what we call ultimate consciousness, or the supreme consciousness. So I want to read more about quantum theory, and I want to read more about Hindu philosophy, and I want to see if those things can match up, because it's a very intriguing place. Akash Nair, EU, Deepak Chopra. Yeah, I agree. So we need to I think break it down in a much easier way than the woo-woo way that Deepak Chopra does it. And start a Sanskrit movement so we don't learn yoga and Hinduism through Western translations. I agree as well with that, Ananya. Very, very good point. Let's see, what else can we take? I want to take a question from somebody that I have not taken a question from. Have I taken a question from Akash Nair? Maybe I haven't. Let me take that one. Akash Nair, hello. Thanks for your question. Thanks for joining. Do you think the West has grossly misrepresented caste as an apartheid-esque system? 100%. 100%. I mean, number one, there has been misrepresentation, because they've said that this is what caste is and this is what the Varna system was designed to be, which is false, which is completely false. This is not what a Varna system is designed to be. The Varna system is designed to be that even if you are, let's say your father was a Vaishya or a Shudra, and you did not want to follow in your father's footsteps, you could not do that. You could become a scholar and a teacher, and thus become a Brahmin and not be a Shudra or a Vaishya anymore. That's how the Varna system was designed to be. So of course there is a misrepresentation there, but we also have to own up to the fact, as a society and as a culture, that caste has been a problem. I'm from Bihar, and I've seen those problems firsthand. I've seen the way some people talk about some people from other castes and vice versa. So I think there is an aspect to caste discrimination. There's been a lot of caste discrimination. Are we improving on that front? 100%. If you go to one of these metropolitan areas in Delhi or Mumbai, a majority of the people don't care about caste over there at all. So we are definitely improving in that situation, but we also have to accept that we have made errors and mistakes and treated people badly, and we also have to accept that there's been misrepresentation from the West. So there's a lot of things that we need to fix on that regard there. Okay, let's take more questions from up, up, up. Mahabharat. Let's take from Mahabharat. Hi, Mahabharat. Thank you for your question. Do you believe in geographical borders, less Hinduism, expansionist Hinduism? No, I don't believe in expansionist Hinduism. I don't believe in, or at least I don't believe in expanding Hinduism through war and killing, because that is completely against our culture. That is completely against our philosophy. Because if we start doing that, then we become the same Abrahamic religions that we dislike. So I don't believe in expansionist Hinduism through war, but I do believe that we can expand Hinduism through talking about its philosophy with other people, through teaching yoga, through teaching meditation. That's the good way of expanding Hinduism. Like you can see in the West already, we don't force anybody to become Hindus, but a lot of people in the West, in Europe and in America and in Canada are turning to Hinduism because they're realizing that the Abrahamic religions of, oh, I know everything, please listen to me, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't provide the answers or the comfort that you're looking for. And Hinduism does, because Hinduism doesn't pretend to know everything. So I think that's a better way to expand it, through cultural means rather than through military means. I agree. We have to promote Mahabharata. I agree with you. We have to promote, which is why it's so important to educate ourselves. We need to know more about our own culture so we can promote it. I completely agree there. One Mega Videos channel. Welcome to the live chat. What do you think about Shashi Tharoor came out on bail? Subramaniam Swamy is fighting hard. See, with these politicians, man, it's tricky because they have so many contacts, they have so much pull, and they have so much jugaad, that they say in India, that it's unless there is a completely watertight case, unless you can build something so completely watertight that there's no way to escape, these people are always going to get out of jail. That's how, unfortunately, politics works anywhere in the world. What you see with Hillary Clinton, even in America, they were talking about lock her up. She has so many crimes, but she didn't go to jail. She's walking around the world. She's going around the world. She was in India a couple of months ago giving a talk. So, politicians can always weasel their way out of these things, and they'll need a pretty watertight case to be able to put him in jail and keep him there. All right. What else? What else do we have? Chandrasekhar Brijesh, I have written a comprehensive 9,300 word essay on Varna, caste, reservation, Islamic societies, radical feminism. Well, Chandrasekhar, very good. Why don't you come join the Sham Sharma Show Society on community on Facebook? Join the community down below. The link to the community is provided down there, and share your article there. And I will make sure to share your video, share your essay there with all the people. So come join this community and share your article there. Okay. Okay. Harinam 6. Thank you, Harinam, for your question. What do you think of Sadhguru? He seems to make a lot of sense. I agree. He does seem to make a lot of sense. I haven't honestly watched a ton of Sadhguruji. I haven't watched a lot of what he has said, but from what I have heard, he does seem to make a lot of sense. And whenever he talks, you just know he has such a good understanding of Hindu concepts and Hindu philosophy. So if you guys are looking to, kind of learn up or read a little bit about Hindu philosophy, listen to him. He has some really, really, really good things to say. Okay. Bulbasaur, Sham, I really hate people who spit and litter on the road. Any solution? I completely agree with you, man. I hate those people too. Because here's the thing, and a lot of I particularly hate it when bloody Hindus do it, because these Hindus will say that we're such a great culture, we're greatest civilization, greatest culture in the world, and then you shit and you piss on your own streets. Like, what are you doing? So that is something that is a very big pet peeve of mine. And we need to realize, we can't rely on the government to fix these problems for us. I always keep saying that we always think that, oh, the government will fix these problems for us, the government will take care of these things for us, and it won't. We have to make sure that we take responsibility for these things. That if you see litter on the ground, pick it up, throw it in the dustbin. Don't piss on the streets. Will you piss on your own mother? When we say Dharti Mata is our mother, those trees, the trees and that we worship, the country that we worship, will you piss on your own mother? Then why do you piss on the streets like an animal? Don't be an animal. We have to start taking that personal responsibility for sure. 100%. We have to take that personal responsibility. And I would even say that the government should allow people that should allow the police that if you see somebody pissing on the streets, just give them one danda on the back and in front of everybody. Embarrass them, and once they're embarrassed, they won't do it again. So I don't know. Maybe that's a little extreme, but I feel like that could help. And again, we have to take that bloody personal responsibility. Okay, what else? Okay, yeah, Chandrasekhar, Brijesh, make sure to share that in the community. Join the community and share your article in the community. I'll share it. Okay, Krishna Rao, what do you think of the recent 4,000-year-old chariot found in UP? Again, it's more proof. Just like there has been proof coming out for the last few decades that this whole Aryan invasion, Aryan migration theory is nonsense. It's complete horse crap. And this is just more proof that there has been no Aryan invasion. There has been no migration. If at all, there has been migration west from India rather than to India. Because there's this gene theory, right? There's this M63 or some gene. I can't remember it exactly right now, but there's some gene which has been found in India, and then that gene shows like northward or northwestern movement over time. So, which actually shows that there's been movement from India to Asia, rather to Central Asia and Europe even, rather than the other way around. So the chariot that was found is just more confirmation of the same. What's better, atheism, Hinduism? Akshat Sharma, hey man, thanks for joining. What's better, atheism or Hinduism? Which one are you? I'm a Hindu because I feel like I don't know if there is nothing out there. I don't know the answer to that question, honestly. And I do like the sound of the theory that there is a consciousness that pervades every single human being or every living thing, because now there is science that can show it, that can show those vibrations that occur between. I don't know, I sound very hippy dippy when I talk about that, so I kind of do get your point, but I really like the sound of the fact that there's this all-pervading consciousness in the universe that's not necessarily God, it's just consciousness, and all of us have consciousness. And when you meditate, you can feel it. When you meditate, you can truly feel it. And I've been meditating again. I haven't been meditating for a very long time, only a couple of months. But when you do it, you can feel it. You can feel that consciousness within you. So I can't say for sure that there is absolutely nothing out there, so that I can't be an atheist. But I would say that I'm an agnostic Hindu. That's the best way I can put it. Let's see. What else? What else do we have for questions? Oh, lots of questions, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the questions. Sham, Harinder Jeet Singh Bedi. Welcome, Harinder. Thank you for your question. Sham, do you believe Indians are challenging the narrative of the left? Amitanshu Sharma, hi. Harinder, I do think we are. Social media, dude, has been such a boon. Social media has been such a boon for Hindus to be able to fight back against that narrative that the left has created. It's been such a great help because like-minded people within the Hindu community have been able to find each other. Like-minded people among the sort of patriotic community. I don't always want to say Hindu community because there are tons of Christians and there are tons of Muslims that are very patriotic as well. So I want to make sure I make that distinction. So tons of patriotic people have been able to find each other and have been able to fight against that bloody narrative that has been created. So social media has been such a big boon for us. And so, yeah, I do think that challenge is happening. I feel like, again, we'll be able to challenge these things better once we educate ourselves. And again, I'm not very well educated on a lot of matters, but I'm trying to be. I try to read as much as I can, and I still have a long way to go. Long way to go before I can call myself educated, or before people can call me educated. So again, I do think that challenging is happening, but there's a long way to go. Pup, pup, pup. Sonu Singh Hindu, how many hours do you meditate? Dude, right now, I only meditate like 15 minutes a day. I don't even meditate for too long because my mind starts wandering too much. So again, like this is new stuff for me. So I sit down every morning and I meditate for about 15 minutes. That's the max I can do right now, but I'm hoping to increase it to like 20 to a half an hour within the next few months. And that's what I say, man. Start with 5 minutes. If you're starting to meditate and if you're having a hard time, just do 5 minutes. Then go to 10, then go to 15, and then, so on and so forth. Let's see. What more questions? Rahul Ray, can you make more videos on Dhruv Rathi's hypocrisy? Yeah, I will. I have a couple more videos in the works, Rahul. And I will definitely be making more videos on Chacha Jan, on The Wire, on The Quint, on Dhruv Rathi. So that'll always be a part of the show. All right. Where can I? Rahul Ray, do you follow Sadhguru? No, I don't really necessarily follow him, but I am going to, I have had people ask me to go listen to more of his stuff, so I'm definitely going to do that. Sumeru Patil, hello Sumeru, how are you? Good, thank you for your question. Do you have any plans with collaborating with Farhan Qureshi? Well, I actually did a live hangout session with Farhan and Waleed. Waleed is also known as Vidu Vids on YouTube, and I did a live session with those guys, and I really like talking to Farhan about philosophy and about these things. And so I'm definitely going to ask him to come on the show. I'm going to be getting Farhan on the sessions as well, and I'm going to be getting Waleed on the sessions as well, because I really like talking to those guys, and Waleed is a really cool guy. So I want to get both of those people on the show for sure. Okay. Akshat, do you have a team or do you do all this by yourself, all the research? No, man, I do this all by myself. It's labor intensive. I would love to make videos every week, every day of the week, and produce episodes every day of the week, but I can't, simply because I'm doing this by myself. So it takes up a lot of my time along with work and stuff. So at the moment, I'm only able to do as many as I can. So yeah, no, it's all me right now. Ash K, why did you move to the US? Where in the US do you live? Well, I work here, and that's the reasons I came here. And where in the US do you live? I live in Chicago, Illinois. It's usually cold but warm as balls right now. Okay, Vidu and Farhan are awesome. Yes, Krishna, they are. They're very cool guys, and I really had a good time talking to them, and I'm looking forward to talking to them again. PM Modi is. Who else do we have? Pradeep Kumar Guduru. Farhan Qureshi was wrong on Katwa issue. Yes, I believe that he was as well. I think, again, it's that narrative that is pushed by Indian leftists and by the mainstream media, and that people that live outside of India, that don't necessarily know India that well, they tend to believe that narrative that is pushed. So, we were pressed for time, and I didn't want to spend 20 minutes arguing with him, because I had to do an episode immediately after that with Hashim Al Madni. So I was pressed for time, so I didn't have a time to sit down and argue with him. But hopefully when we talk, hopefully when I get Farhan on the sessions, that we'll be able to hash that issue out together. Bulbasaur, do you agree Make in India is a success, especially defense manufacturing. I think in defense manufacturing, definitely. I don't know if trying to make India a manufacturing hub is the right idea, because there are countries that are better at it than us. There are countries that'll all, like China is better at it than us right now. It'll be able to do it better than us right now. So I don't really have an answer to that question, right? For me, for Make in India, um, it's taken some strides. I don't know if it is an out and out success. One mega channel, one mega video channels. Do you watch Carolina Goswami videos? Her latest video on World Rape Capital is good, is too good and informative. Do share your thoughts. I haven't, man. I haven't seen it. I don't even know who Carolina Goswami is. Is if she's a YouTuber, I'll go check it out. I'll go check out her video. Anand Pandey, namaste, namaste, Anand Pandey. How are you? Do you visit Hindu Swayamsevak Shakhas there? How strong are those organizations there? I haven't visited a Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh Shakha here yet, but I am guessing that I'll be able to meet some of those people because I'm attending the World Hindu Conference that is happening in Chicago in September. So the World Hindu Congress is held every 4 years. This year is happening in Chicago. So a lot of Hindus and Hindu organizations are going to be visiting it this year. So I think I'll be able to meet a lot of people there. So hopefully, and I actually met some people from the Indic Book Club. I don't know how many people here are aware of the Indic Book Club. So I went to one of their meetings and I met up with some people from the Indic Book Club, and they're doing a lot of good work. So make sure to go check those guys out on Facebook and Twitter as well. Indic Book Club. Okay. Rahul Ghosh. Hello, Rahul. Thanks for your question. Why, in your opinion, are seculars against our views? Well, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because for some reason, Hindus are the ones that suffer the most under Muslim rule. And there's a siren. I don't know how many people can hear it. I think it's like a one of those freaking fire sirens. They're just doing a drill outside. But anyway, so it's an interesting one because Hindus are the ones that suffered the most under Muslim rule. Hindus are the ones that suffered, massively under British rule. But somehow Hindus are still the villains. Our philosophy and our culture is the most open culture and open philosophy out there. And yes, we have our problems, but the blind hatred that seculars tend to have towards us, I think a lot of it is pushed by the communists and pushed by the leftist sort of establishment that got hold of the education system in India. And then the rest is, of course, pushed by the Islamists and the evangelicals because they see Hindus as a very fertile ground for conversion. And they hate the fact that they have not been able to convert as many Hindus to Islam and Christianity respectively as they like. So again, that drives the hatred and that pushes the agenda as well. Data lore, disagree respectfully, Sham. It is absolutely the right thing to do. I'm sorry, man. I don't remember what I said that you disagree with. So if you can just let me know what you disagree with down there, I'd remember. Sorry, man. There's been a lot of comments, so I might have lost your comment over there. Akshay Sharma, where do you get your news that's unbiased, since most news handles are biased and funded? Where do you get your news from? Dude, I try to get my news from everywhere. I try to get it from Swarajya and the sort of right-wing sources. I try to get my news from Times of India, Indian Express, Hindu. I try to get my news from as many places as possible. So at least I can try. If I'm telling you that I'm unbiased, then I'm obviously lying to you. Everybody has biases. So I have my biases as well. But I try to get my news from as many sources. So at least I can try to get an unbiased view of the situation. What else? Manufacturing. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, I haven't looked too much into it, data lore. So, there has been some successes as well, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if I would call it an out-and-out success. If you think it's an out-and-out success, please let me know why. Ananya Lal, Republic, I don't know, man. Republic is The thing is, when Republic launched, I was happy because I thought there's going to be this, balanced kind of. It was Arnab Goswami, but still, I was hoping it'll be this balanced news source where we could get our news in an unbiased way. But unfortunately, even Republic gets a little screechy and shouty every now and then, which is just it just destroys the discourse, in my opinion. All this screaming and shouting kind of news, it's doing nothing for the discourse. It's doing nothing for Hindus. So I don't know. I hope they clean their act up. Aryan, hello. How are you? Um, Rahul Ray, have you received any flack or threats from the leftists for your work? Yeah, man, every now and then. But what are you gonna do? That's part and parcel of this stuff. Alec, why on News is the only non-aligned news source? I've heard of them, man. I've heard of them, but I haven't watched anything of them. Are they good? Does anyone watch Wire News here and think it's good? Let me know if you guys think it's good, because I'll check them out, because I haven't been able to see it yet. Wire News is the best news channel. Really? I haven't seen anything from them, man. I really should. I really should. I've heard about them, but I have never had the chance to take a look at them. People like Arundhati, Harinam 6, people like Arundhati Roy are the agents of the Western liberals, and the politicians in the West get their narrative. Exactly. Because these are the people that push this narrative against India. And these are the people that then get invited to talks all around the world, get prime positions in universities all around the world and stuff like that. So yeah, unfortunately, these are the people that get the narrative from, which is why, again, it becomes so important for us to create that same narrative for ourselves. Karthik Kapoor. Hi, Karthik. How are you? Thanks for your question. Thanks for joining me live, man. Your thoughts on why we Hindus have been made to feel embarrassed of our culture through our education system? Again, man, it's that same freaking leftist ideology that Hindus are horrible. It's that same Islamist ideology that Hindus need to be put down. And it's that same evangelical ideology that we need to convert as many people as we can. And so these people have had such a strong hold on the intelligentsia. These people have had such a strong hold on education. And they know that as long as Hindus have pride in their culture, as long as Hindus have pride in their civilization, in their heroes, in their history, that it is going to be impossible to convert them and destroy them. So the best way to destroy Hindus, so they're easy to convert, is break their pride, destroy their pride, destroy the pride that they take in their civilization. Once you do that, they won't want to defend their civilization anymore. And if they don't want to defend their civilization anymore, then conversions will be very easy. So that's the reason why I feel like we're made to feel ashamed in being Hindus by the media, by the intelligentsia, and by the education sector as well. Okay, what else? Aryan, I'll take your question, mate. What do you think about demonetization? Dude, I think demonetization is a good step. I think in the short term, there have obviously been problems, undoubtedly, but I think long term, it's a good step, because I think moving to a more cashless world, moving to a more cashless economy is a good idea eventually, because cash, again, we were seeing the way cash was being hoarded for corruption purposes. Cash was being hoarded because it's harder to track cash, so, and it's easier to track electronic money. So for corruption purposes, definitely I think it's a great step. And if the Congress government brought in demonetization, they would be taking all the credit for it. They just hate demonetization because Modi government brought it in. And so, and again, for terrorist funding as well, a lot of this terrorist funding, a lot of this Maoist funding happens through cash. So to take that cash out of those terrorist and Maoist hands as well, I think demonetization overall and in the long term is a great step. It's just that the short-term problems have been there. They've been serious problems. And so people tend to look at these short-term problems. In economics, there's a saying that bad economists are often very good at conveying their message to people than good economists. And I think that has been the case a little bit over here as well. Oh, Anshul, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for your contribution, mate. I appreciate it. You really don't have to, but I really appreciate. But I really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very humbled. Um, let's see. What other questions do we have? Yeah, our education system is a total hang up from the colonial times, and it's bloody high time that we fixed it. You know what I mean? Uh, let's see. What is your view on the Hindu newspaper, Aditya Vardhan? Aditya Vardhan, thank you very much for your question. Thanks for joining us, man. What's the view on the Hindu newspaper? Well, it's one of those old established it's one of those old establishment newspaper. It's very deeply infested with leftists, and it's got a very strong leftist lean. I know a lot of my friends that used to read the Hindu when they were preparing for IAS examinations, for the civil services, in for the civil UPSC examinations. I mean, in India, so they were reading a lot of Hindu because that's what you're supposed to read. But I read it a little bit as well because they were reading it. So when you read it, you see like there's a very strong bias in Hindu. So I do think Hindu is a very biased newspaper, but I think people should read from all sources because it's important to know where the bias lies, so we know that we can fight that bias as well. The Observer, hey, thanks for supporting, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are just fantastic, and thank you for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. Observer, do you think another intolerance like drama before the 2019 elections? 100%, man. It's been happening ever since Modi got elected, and it's going to keep happening throughout 2019. You see how badly it happens when the Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh elections that are going to happen later in the year. When they come around, you see how badly that whole intolerance thing comes up again. They'll talk about, oh, the poor farmers and the caste issues and how horrible Hindus are, and they'll probably pick up some issue or some crime that happens in one of these states, and they will use it against the BJP, they will use it against the Hindus. 100% this is going to happen. And this is why every single one of us watching today, watching this live stream right now, and myself included, all of us need to be active on social media and make sure that we are disputing these facts, make sure that we are spreading correct information. So we need to make sure that our voices are very clearly heard. So again, uh, yeah, it's definitely going to happen, and it's definitely something that we'll need to fight tooth and nail. Uh, all right, what else? What do you Ash K? Ash K, thank you for your question, man. Thank you for joining. What do you have to say about the Republican Hindu Party in the US? Um, Look, the Republicans are a good option for Hindus. That's what I will say. But the Republicans also have huge problems, just the way the Democrats have. The Democrats have their own problems, whereas they're too much SJWs, too leftists, so that they have that leftist hatred for India. The Republicans have the problem that they are too evangelist. They are dominated by evangelists. So evangelists also hate Hindus because they hate heathens. So, and they think that they're better than everybody else, and anybody who is not an American and not a Christian is horrible. So we need to fight that. So that's where we face problems as well. So I feel like Republicans are a good choice and a good option for Indians. But it's very important that if Indians are choosing the Republican Party, that the Indians bring up this issue, that they force the Republican Party to understand that unless you stop this evangelical supremacy movement, that Hindus need to convert, and that you can't run from the Republican Party being an Hindu unless you convert. All that nonsense needs to go away, because till that goes away, I don't think the Republicans and the Hindus will make a good match. Okay. Uh, why is Indian youth crazy about IAS and comfy government jobs? Because they're comfy. Because you get to sit in a car, you get to go to the office, you get to do whatever you want, you get to order people around. That's why they love it. And so, yeah. Uh, I'm from Chhattisgarh. Congress is non-existent here. Ajit Jogi will garner a lot of anti-BJP votes. He supports Modi in the center. Yeah, man, I think Chhattisgarh is more clear. Chhattisgarh is easier to sort of determine for the BJP because BJP has done a lot of good work in Chhattisgarh and even Madhya Pradesh. I don't know if Madhya Pradesh is 100% certain for BJP, but I think the worst state for the BJP is going to be Rajasthan because there's a lot of anti-incumbency and there's a lot of hate towards Vasundhara Raje. So Rajasthan is going to be very tricky. So if BJP loses Rajasthan, the whole media, the whole leftist establishment, all those opposition political parties are going to be like, oh, Modi wave is finished. Modi is finished. He's going to lose in 2019. And they're going to create that propaganda. So that propaganda is going to be very important to fight. Pradeep Kumar Guduru, hey, thanks for the contribution, man. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm very, very humbled. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. Again, man, I can't believe that you guys just help out the channel like this. I'm very, very indebted. Thank you very much. Ashish Patel, you don't have to be Christian to join the Republican Party. I know you don't have to be Christian, but the point that I'm making that to run for important office, like Bobby Jindal, like Nikki Haley, like all of these people, like there's another guy that might become he's an Indian guy and he might become the Supreme Court judge, and Trump might appoint him. He's an Indian guy, but he's also a convert from Hinduism to Christianity. So what I'm saying is to run for important offices, you can't just be a Hindu and run for those important offices. You still have to, people still expect you to convert to Christianity. So I think that sort of needs to go away. Rahul Ray, do you think Yogi Adityanath would succeed Modi? I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot of people want Yogi Adityanath to succeed Modi, but I don't know if he's the best choice. Right now, looking at all the other candidates, he may be the best choice, but I don't know. I don't know if he will. He is a pretty strong candidate, though. He's a pretty strong candidate. I think right now he's the best candidate to replace him, but I don't know if he's the face we want. I don't know. People might disagree with me there. Anshul Pundhir, we Hindus must support this guy. Thank you, Anshul. I appreciate the support very, very much. Rishabh Garg, Sham, how much do you think that image of Hindus has changed in the last 10 years in the West? Well, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. Particularly, I'll tell you why it's changed, because people have been starting to come into the mainstream more and more, and Hindus have emerged as the richest ethnic group in the US. So Hindus and Indians particularly are the richest ethnic group in the US. They make the highest amount of money, and they're usually very, very, very well educated. So our stereotype has gone from this snake charmer nonsense to really hardworking, really well educated, and really rich. So that image has changed, but there still needs to be a change in terms of our culture. That what is Hindu culture? That's the next frontier. That's what we need to communicate to. That's what we need to communicate to people next. Okay, what next? Smriti Irani should run for PM. Maybe, dude. Maybe. Who would people prefer? I should run that poll, man. I should run that poll. Who would people prefer between Smriti Irani and Yogi Adityanath? Who do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. Who do you guys think that should succeed Modi? Do you think it should be Smriti Irani? Do you think it should be Adityanath? Or do you think it should be a third person, someone completely different? So let me know. Let me know who you think it is. Right? Okay. Smriti Subramanian Swamy would be a better PM candidate. He would, but I think he's too much of a maverick, man. I think he's good where he is. I think he's good in an advisory area. I don't think he would make a good PM, because a good PM needs to be diplomatic. Modi can be diplomatic. I don't think Subramanian Swamy can be diplomatic at all. So I don't know. That's what I think. Krishna, what are your views on Tulsi Gabbard? I like Tulsi Gabbard a lot, actually. I think Tulsi Gabbard is proudly Hindu. She talks about Hindu issues. She talks about how Hindus need to be represented better in the government. She talks about how there are leftist and evangelist lies spread about Hindus in the West and in India. So I like a lot of the things that she said. She is very liberal, and there are some things that I disagree with, but on the whole, I really like her. And she'll be coming to the World Hindu Congress this September in Chicago as well. So I'm hoping I get to meet her there as well. I think Piyush Goyal would make a good PM. I think so too, man. I think he's an interesting guy. Deshrai, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And Anand Pandey, thank you again. Thank you very much for supporting, brother. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support that you guys give this channel. And I really appreciate that you guys follow me. And I really appreciate that you guys are participating in this chat with me as well. So thank you very much. I'm very, very humbled. Oh wow, I'm getting a Nitin Gadkari also. Wow, interesting choice, man. Interesting choice. Sushma Swaraj will be the best successor. I don't know if Sushma Swaraj will be the best successor, because I saw the whole thing that happened with Sushma Swaraj and the whole blocking of the trolls. I don't know why she thought those people. What's her name? Damn it, I forgot her name. Shefali Vaidya ji. I don't know why she thought Shefali Vaidya ji was a troll. So I don't know if Sushma Swaraj will make the best successor. She's a very good minister. I almost think that the defense minister, the current defense minister, I forgot her name. I feel like the current defense minister, she would make a good prime minister as well. Why has India always been divided into communities and castes like the Cholas, Kushans, Rajputs, Chalukya, Maurya, and so on, despite all of them have the same religious background? Because I think jati is a real thing, because there were various tribes, just like everywhere else in the world, in the ancient world, there were tribes in India as well. And then those tribes had a sense of identity. And so even though we have that same religious background, and even though we're all Hindus culturally, a lot of us still maintain that jati-based identity, and that jati-based identity has translated into the Kushanas, the Cholas, the Rajputs, and so on and so forth. But I feel like those jatis and those tribes were important in ancient times, but I don't think they're as valid and as relevant today when humans have evolved so much, when Hindus have evolved so much. I don't think that they are as relevant. Our tribal way of thinking is not that relevant. And that is why I always say that we need to move away from that tribal way of thinking and just be Hindus and just be Indians. I think that's the next step that we as a society need to take. What would India look like in 2050? Hopefully a lot richer. That's what I would like to see, Satyendra. So richer, more evolved, cleaner, and get along better with each other. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know what it would look like, but that's what I would like to see. The Observer, Dr. Swami as finance minister, dude, that could work. As finance minister could work. I would actually love to have seen Dr. Swami as freaking foreign affairs minister. I don't know why. I just think he'd make a great, like a Trump kind of foreign affairs minister. I don't know. It would just be fun. It would just be an entertaining foreign tour every time. Sabine Matthews, how long have you been staying in the US? I've been here, how long, dude? End of 2016? Not very long. End of 2016. So not very long at all. Rajavardhan Singh Rathod would make a good one. I don't know if he's ready. What do you guys think? I don't think he's ready, but eventually maybe. I think he might make a good choice. Parikar would make a good choice. I think Parikar is a good one as well. You can support this guy. All right, who else? Nirmala Sitharaman. Yes, thank you. Know your cryptocurrency and right is always right. Thank you. Nirmala Sitharaman. She would make a good, I feel like she would make a good candidate for prime minister. She's very well spoken. She's firm. She never gets flustered. She doesn't have a propensity to have outbursts or anything like that. She's a very well spoken lady. And whenever you listen to her talk, you immediately get respect for her. So I think she would make a very good choice as well. You should read Dr. David Frawley. Yeah, man, I really want to. So I'm finishing the Urban Axels book. I'll probably finish it this week, and then I'll pick up some. I really want to read some quantum physics, so I'm going to read a little bit of that, maybe something by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then I'm going to read some David Frawley. That's a good idea. Thank you. Right is always right. The Observer, can we see an interview with you with Mr. Rajiv Malhotra? Dude, I hope so as well. I would love to get him on the show. If you guys know Mr. Rajiv Malhotra, let him know that I would love to have him on the show. I reached out via email, and I hopefully we can work something out in the next, in the coming time. So that would be really cool. Excuse me. Nirmala Sitharaman is from JNU, so she's good with her arguments. Yeah, man, I bet that would be great. Nishant Rathore, I really like your Defenders of India series. You're doing a great work by telling stories of forgotten bravehearts. Please do react on the Warriors list, which I had sent to you on Twitter. Yes, I remember, Nishant. Thank you. Thank you for sending that list, because I'm always looking for suggestions. So thank you very much, first of all, for sending that list to me. And I will make sure to make videos on, if not all, at least most of them. I'll make sure to make videos on most of them, because I'm really fond of that series. Because making videos on those series also teaches me. I also learn a lot. So I definitely will. Rahul Singh, Ram Ram Bhai, Ram Ram. I hope you are good. Ricky D, you should do an interview with Tariq Fateh. Yes, I do really want to. I will be reaching out to him sometime this month, actually, because, like I said, I mentioned before in the live stream that I'm looking to talk to J-Sai Deepak. I'm looking to talk to Anurag Saxena of the Indian Pride Project, Ashish Dhar of Pragyata. So I'm looking to speak to these guys. And so then eventually I'm also looking to I'm going to reach out to Tariq Fateh ji this month as well, for sure. Right, who else? Harish Verma, why do most Indians suffer from inferiority complex? Why do we seek validation from the West? Most reaction channels got nothing to do with appreciation. It's just taking advantage of our complex. 100% agree, man. I think there's definitely a truth to that. I think you're right. And again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's what the British did to us. The British, if you look at the Macaulay Minutes by Thomas Macaulay, who created our education system, you will see that the goal of the British education system in India was to create a population of Indians who were Indian in color, but British in character. So they were very successful in creating a generation of Indians who think that anything that comes from the West is better than India. And we still have that mentality in a lot of people. So that is why we like it when we have these Western reaction channels. That is why we like it when somebody from the West says something nice about India rather than an Indian saying something nice about India. You know what I mean? So we still have that complex from 200 years of education and programming, and even after independence, all that programming and education. So that is something that we need to work on. And again, educating ourselves and reading more about our history and our culture and our philosophy is a good way to beat that mentality. And I feel like we need to beat that mentality because we have so much to offer. This is a great civilization, man. This is a great thing to take pride in. There's so much to offer. So we really should. So let's start educating ourselves, and I hope you guys will keep watching the Defenders of India series. All right. Indian cinemas can play a big role. Rishabh Garg, thank you very much for your comment. They can play a big role through their movies. Can't expect much from Bollywood, but Hollywood can do that. They do, man. Bollywood is just useless. Watch the regional movies. The regional movies are producing some really, really good stuff. Anglophilia is a synonym for inferiority complex. Unfortunately, I have to agree. The Observer, I think that's correct. There's a lot of inferiority complex that we really need to Akshay Sharma, I really like the Mind Hunter. Can you share some good stuff at the end of your videos? I will. I'll check up. I'll try out. What's a good series that I watched recently? Damn it! I'll have to think about this one. And I will provide some links to it. Let me think about that one. Ash K, man, you're really knowledgeable. No, dude, I'm not that knowledgeable. I'm still trying to learn. You know, uh, I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff. I know some things about some things, but this is why I think one of the things that I always talk about is educating myself, because I think one of the best phrases that I heard is that when a fire gets brighter, when a fire gets bigger, you see more and more area that is still under darkness, which means that the more you learn, the more you realize that there is so much that you still don't know. And that is the position where I am in right now. As I keep reading, I keep realizing that there's so much stuff that I have no idea about. So, which is why I really I really enjoy reading these days. All right. Sham Carl Sagan had great admiration for Indian architecture and the Vedas. Yes, he did. Exactly. There's another example. Thank you for that, The Observer. Pradeep Kumar Guduru, could you please take up the wrong depiction of map of India issue? Yes, I will. It's a good issue to take up right now, because I've seen that in a lot of maps internationally. So I will make a video on that one of these days coming up as well. Excuse me. Harshit Pant, what industry do you work in, and how do you get time to balance work with YouTube? I work in sales and marketing. So I work as a business development manager, and I record a video early in the morning and then I edit it late at night. So I get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep every day. So fun times. Wyatt Wright, tell me a joke. Rahul Gandhi. There you go. There's your joke. Mahabharat, Ghar Wapas Your Bollywood is needed. Yeah, I think so. All right. What else? What else do we have? Sham, while educating ourselves, there must be a focus on stopping the West from digesting Hindu thoughts and Christianity as their own. Very correct. Which is why that battle needs to be fought as well. You know, we need to create our own platforms like this. This is one of the reasons why I created this show, is because I feel like Hindus need platforms that that can create their own narrative. So when people see these evangelists trying to co-opt Hindu concepts, you can see these channels, you can see these online platforms, you can see all these people talking about these things, and you can be like, okay, look, wait, here is a counterpoint to that as well. So I think being online and creating these online platforms are very important. Satyendra, please do Defender of India on Lalita Aditya Muktapida. I will, man. I'm looking. That's probably one of the next ones that I will make. Karkota Empire. Yes. I'm looking to make that one as well. The Observer, your channel is like an oasis for silent Hindus. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the kind comments that you guys have. So thank you very much. Your views on 15 months on Yogi as the CM of UP. You know what? Let me get back to you on that question, because I honestly have not had a chance to really study Yogi as CM of UP. I really have not had the chance. I'm just being honest here. So let me study that for the next week. Let me look at it for the next week. And next week, I will do another live stream like this and ask me that question again. And actually, I'll remember this question and I will answer your question on what I thought of Yogi as the CM of UP. So I'll make sure to remember that question, and I'll make sure to get back to you on that question as well, because right now, I don't think I have a good answer. Is Rebel Media anti-Hindu? The Last Night. Yes, it is. I don't know if it's necessarily, okay, let me take that back. I don't know if it's necessarily anti-Hindu, but it's definitely not pro-Hindu. There are people on that show like Gavin McInnes. There are people on that show who do not have a good understanding of Hinduism, and who are very evangelist, who are, very Christians are better than everybody else feeling. And so I don't think they are friends of Hindus. The only person there that is a friend of the Hindus is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson has an appreciation for Hindus and Sikhs. The others there, not so much. I don't think so. But I do really appreciate Tommy Robinson and the work that he does. Defenders of India, Sambhaji, Vilas Salunke. Vilas Salunke, thank you for your question. I will be making a video on Sambhaji. I conducted a poll which was between Sambhaji and Krishna Dev Rai. So Krishna Dev Rai won that poll. So I'd always thought I'll make a video on Sambhaji. So one of the next ones is going to be on him for sure. Okay, what else? What do you think, Mahabharat? What do you think about the Tommy Robinson drama? Well, I think Tommy Robinson has been hard done. Again, if it is illegal for somebody to film outside a courthouse where a trial is happening currently, apparently it was illegal. It is illegal in Britain. So if he has done something illegal, then that's his fault. That's on him. And if he went to jail for that, that's his fault, unfortunately. But as far as the work that he does, as far as what he talks about, I agree with all of it. Almost all of it, I'd say. Because he's doing a lot of good work. He's talking about issues that nobody in Britain wants to talk about because it's too uncomfortable. He's talking about issues that nobody in India wants to touch because it's too uncomfortable. He's talking about issues that are too uncomfortable for the world to hear. And that is why what the work he's doing is so important. So I hope he gets out of jail soon. And I hope one day I'm able to get him on my show for an interview, because I'd love to talk to that guy, because I do appreciate the work that he does. It is illegal, but other people were also filmed, and he was arrested. Yeah, I mean, if it is illegal and he was arrested, that's again his fault. And if other people were not arrested, then that's something that obviously needs to be protested against. That's something that obviously needs to be talked about. But again, as far as the work that he does, that's what I know of. As far as the work that he does, I think he does a lot of great work. What is your thinking on Yazidis and Hindu similarities? One Mega Videos channel. There's some similarities in the sense that they have a lot of pagan rituals. They have a lot of pagan imagery. So even though I think they sometimes identify as Muslims, but they still have a lot of pagan holdover from their pagan past. So I think that's the similarities there. Just like any other pagan culture, like the Greeks, like the ancient Mesopotamians, like the ancient Chinese, like the ancient people of Europe. There's a lot of similarities between ancient cultures and between Hindu culture. The respect that people have for nature, the respect that people have for a common divinity, and a democratic way of belief, that whatever you believe in, whatever brings you peace, whatever brings you happiness, do that. That is a hallmark of pagan civilizations and of Hindu civilizations. So I think that's some similarities there. What do you think about the Dutch Geert Wilder? Again, a lot of things that I agree with Geert Wilder. I feel like he's a little more extreme than Tommy Robinson. I don't know if he necessarily makes the distinction between Hindus and Sikhs and other immigrants and Muslims. I don't know if I have never seen a video of him making that distinction. So maybe he has, and I just don't know. But I think again, a lot of stuff I agree with, but I think he needs to make a distinction between Hindus and Sikhs and Muslims if he hasn't made that distinction already. What is your say on Milo Yiannopoulos, Ash K? I think he's just a troll. I think people enjoy the anti-SJW stuff that he says, but he's just a troll, and he's just like Christianity is the best thing, Catholicism is the best thing. I don't like Milo Yiannopoulos at all. The Observer, is Modi bowing down before China's trade threats? I don't know. I think that thing is still developing. I think right now, India doesn't need to get into a trade war with anybody. I don't think Modi should bow down. But I think the media hysteria about the trade threats that China is making to India is a little overblown. That's just my opinion. I think it's a little overblown. Do you think Jews control America, or is it just a hoax? I don't know, man. And anybody that pretends to know, I don't know. I don't think Jews control America. I think Jews are hardworking people that have been able to find their way in, work very hard and make good lives for themselves. But I don't know if they control America. I think that's a very popular conspiracy theory. Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, again. Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, I like a lot of the things that those guys say. Ben Shapiro, particularly, I really enjoy the political points he makes because I think he's a very smart and a very intelligent political pundit. But again, when it comes to the religious stuff, I think Ben goes too far. And he has the same problem that a lot of people on the right wing have, is that, oh, Christianity and Judaism is the best, and we created all the good ideas in the world, and no other culture has all the good ideas in the world, and that stuff is patently false. So that's the stuff that I disagree with them. But when it comes to the political stuff, I really enjoy Ben Shapiro. All right, what else? I think Jews do control America. I don't know, man. I'd love to have some like serious proof of that. I haven't seen much serious proof of that. If you think that's true, fine. Send me some proof. What else? Why do we Harish Verma, thanks for your question, man, and welcome to the live stream. Why do we pride ourselves on CEOs being Indian, but our society mostly want to stay safe rather than encouraging entrepreneurship? Startups are future for youth. I think Indians are pretty entrepreneurial. Look at the startups forming in India. Look at all the companies that have been built by Indians in America. I think Indians are pretty entrepreneurial. It's just that for a very long time, at least since independence, for a very long time, because we were a poor society and because we were just emerging from poverty and getting independence, I think people were like, be safe, get a job, work for somebody, make an income, make a salary, do the right thing, provide for your family. That's what entrepreneurship is risky. And for risky, you need to have at least some sort of money behind you. And so I kind of understand the idea that people had, that, okay, first get a job, make a stable life for yourself, do that. So I can get that in a poor country, that's an important thing. But I think now that the standard of living is improving, quality of life is improving in India, people are starting to take more and more risks. And thus we see more and more entrepreneurs. Startups are the future. I agree. All right. Okay, so I just want to say, guys, thank you very much, first of all, for doing this live stream with me. Thank you very much for sending in your questions, and thank you to the people who have offered me super chat. Again, you really didn't have to do that, and I really, 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 really appreciate your kindness and your contribution to this channel. I hope I've been able to take enough questions for you guys. I hope I was able to, cover most of you guys who sent questions. I hope I was able to answer most of them at least. I'm thinking that I'm going to do this every week. I think I'm going to do a live stream with you guys every week because I really do enjoy chatting with you guys. I really do enjoy doing these live streams with you guys. So I think I'm going to start doing these every week. Maybe Thursday night like this, I think is a good night, right? Thursday night or Wednesday night, whichever. I think a Thursday night or a Wednesday night is a good one. So I'll let you guys know whether it's a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, and we should get together and we should do one of these live streams every week, because it's really fun to take questions from you guys. It's really fun to talk to you guys. It's really fun to hear you guys' opinions, and I really enjoy talking to you guys. So thank you very much again for participating in this live chat to everybody. Join the community. Come join the Sham Sharma Show community on Facebook. There's a community there for like-minded people like yourselves. If you guys enjoy what I do here on the show, come share your thoughts with me in the community. Come create a community for knowledge, create a community for enlightenment, and for creating a narrative for us Hindus. So come join the community. It's called the Sham Sharma Show community on Facebook. The link is provided in the description down below. Come join the community and let's come have some conversations. Yeah, it'll be fun. Thank you for all of your kind words. Yes, The Observer, we will be doing more regular live sessions. We will be doing I'll be doing one every week. Let's do a live session with you guys every week. I think it'll be fantastic. And yes, I will post my Reddit link, so you can share any memes, any articles, interesting articles that you find. You can share on my Reddit page as well. You can share with me there. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching today. If you like what you see here, you can subscribe to the show's channel down below. And I will see you for the next episode. I will see you for the next, I don't know what it's going to be on. It's going to be a surprise. I'll let you know. I'll let you know on Twitter and Facebook what the next episode is going to be. But I will see you for the next episode. And until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.